They never talk about this moment. They never show it in documentaries. They never teach it in schools. Because it is not glamorous. It does not look powerful. It does not look heroic. But this is the moment where everything changes. Before success, before recognition, before the world knows their name, there is a single decision, not a plan, not a strategy, a decision. A decision made in silence. A decision made in pain. A decision made when no one was watching. History's greatest winners were not born different. They were not chosen by destiny. They were not protected from fear. They stood exactly where you stand now, confused, doubtful, uncertain. And then they decided. The most dangerous lie in the world is that success happens slowly by accident. The truth is, success begins instantly, the moment a decision is made. But terrifying. I will no longer live as the person I used to be. This is the decision that ends one life and begins another. Most people never make it. Not because they cannot, but because they are afraid of what it will cost. Every great winner faced a moment where staying was comfortable, and leaving was terrifying. Napoleon could have remained a small officer. Lincoln could have accepted failure as his identity. Steve Jobs could have disappeared after being fired. Muhammad Ali could have quit after losing everything. Mandela could have surrendered to bitterness. They all had reasons to stop, but they made one decision. I will not go back. That decision is not emotional. It is not motivational. It is final. Once made, it changes how pain feels. Pain stops being a signal to quit. Pain becomes proof that you are moving forward. This is where winners are separated from the rest. Most people use pain as an exit sign. Winners use pain as a direction sign. This decision rewires the brain. It teaches the mind to obey instead of negotiate. You stop asking how hard it is. You start asking how strong you must become. When Thomas Edison failed again and again, the world saw failure, but he saw alignment with his decision. When Michael Jordan trained in isolation, it was not discipline. It was loyalty to a decision he already made. This is why motivation is irrelevant to great winners. They do not rely on feelings, they rely on identity. Once you decide who you are becoming, your behavior follows. This is why most people struggle. They try to change habits without changing decisions. History's greatest winners decided first, then built everything around that decision. This decision also creates loneliness, because once you decide to grow, separate from those who choose comfort. Friends stop understanding you. Family becomes concerned. The world questions your sanity. This is normal. Every winner experiences social friction, because growth makes others uncomfortable. Most people quit here. They mistake resistance for a warning. Winners recognize resistance as confirmation. If no one doubts you, you are not aiming high enough. This decision also destroys excuses. There's no one left to blame. No one to wait for. No perfect time coming. You become responsible for everything. That level of responsibility scares most people. But it frees winners, because once responsibility is accepted, power returns. You stop asking permission. You stop waiting for approval. You move. This decision also changes your relationship with time. You stop chasing fast results. Progress. You understand that roots grow in darkness, before anything is visible. History's greatest winners trusted the unseen phase, because they trusted their decision. They did not panic when results were slow. They did not quit when progress was invisible. They understood that becoming strong takes time. This decision also sharpens standards. You stop tolerating distractions. You stop wasting energy. You stop entertaining weak habits. Your life becomes simpler, but harder. Simpler because priorities are clear. Harder because excuses are gone. This is why greatness looks intense, because it is intentional. Winners do not live casually. They live deliberately. They do not wake up asking, "How do I feel?" They wake up asking, "What must be done?" This decision removes the need for motivation, because motivation comes and goes, but identity stays. Decide. I am the type of person who does not quit. Quitting becomes unnatural. You may fail, you may fall, but you do not retreat. This is the invisible advantage winners have. They do not rely on willpower, they rely on commitment. When Elon Musk risked everything, he was not confident. He was committed. When Kobe trained relentlessly, he was not inspired, he was aligned. This decision also reshapes fear. Fear does not disappear, but it loses control. Fear becomes a companion, not a commander. Winners feel fear and move anyway. They understand something most people never learn. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the refusal to obey it. This decision also changes how you see failure. Failure stops being personal. It becomes informational. You do not ask, why am I bad? You ask, what must improve? How mastery is formed. History's greatest winners were not protected from failure. They were refined by it. This decision also builds patience. Not lazy patience, active patience. The ability to work without applause, to suffer without validation, to trust without evidence. This is rare. This is why winners are rare. They operate on long timelines, while others chase short dopamine. They invest where others consume. This decision also forces honesty. You cannot lie to yourself anymore. You cannot pretend effort is enough. You either show up or you face the truth. This honesty is uncomfortable, but it is powerful, because growth only happens where honesty exists. This decision also creates momentum. Small actions start stacking. Days turn into discipline. Discipline turns into confidence. Not fake confidence, earned confidence. Not need to speak. This is how ordinary people become dangerous, not to others, but to limits. History remembers those who stayed consistent, not those who started excited. This is the decision history's greatest winners made, not once, but every day. They decided again and again, I will not return to who I was, and this decision is standing in front of you. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly, as discomfort, as dissatisfaction, as restlessness. That feeling is not weakness, it is invitation. The invitation to decide. Most people ignore it. They distract themselves. They numb it. Winners listen, because they understand this moment does not come often. And once it passes, it rarely returns. The one decision that changed the lives of history's greatest winners was the decision to become someone new, before the world gave them permission. And that decision is available to you right now. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Because history is not written by those who wait, it is written by those who decide.